Hi peeps, what up? I'm back. Now today what we learned in class, we didn't really learn anything today in class. It was more a review of what we have been learning these past few days. Okay, but it got a lot more complicated. Obviously, like I said, summarizing, we've done multi-step equation, the fractions, decimals, whole numbers, fractions with unlike denominators, and then I'm throwing in the distributive property. And then in the previous video, we threw in distributive property and combining like terms. Now today, I'm throwing in distributive property on both sides of the equation. I'm throwing in combining like terms on both sides of the equation. So if you know how to master these problems, honestly, you pretty much mastered the whole concept of multi-step equations. Now what I did do is create this poster right here, outlining every single step that you need to take. Okay, this poster will be up also in class when you take a quiz or exam. So this poster outlines every step to solving a multi-step equation. The first step is always to eliminate any parentheses using the distributive property. So every time you see a parentheses, the first thing you do is distributive property. The next thing is eliminate any fractions or decimals. We really haven't been doing fractions and decimals with distributive property, but you already know how to eliminate fractions and decimals. Next thing is, these two steps in black are kind of the same in terms of you're going to combine like terms in the left side of the equation, and then you're going to combine the like terms on the right side of the equation. After you do steps 1 through 4, then you're going to get an equation that you already know how to solve. So let's get started. You're going to see these huge beasts. Like literally, they're going to have to cover the whole whiteboard because they're that long. So let's go over this one. So we have negative 5 times 1 minus 5x plus 4x equals negative 8x minus 5. Negative 8x minus 2. Look at that beast right there. That is a total beast of multi-step equations. You need to know how to solve that. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Let me erase this top part right here. It looks, let me just erase this so we can have more space. Okay, it's easy. Just follow all the steps, follow the steps here, and then you'll be able to do it. Just go step by step and go slowly. Don't try to go fast. Today in class, what I've noticed is a lot of you guys knew how to do this. The problem was your integers. So here we go. First step is eliminate any parentheses using the distributive property. So I usually have a highlighter. I'm just going to underline. I'm like, oh, this one doesn't even work. Let's see this one. Okay. We underline the parentheses. Boom. So that means we have to do distributive property here. And that means we also have to do distributive property over here. So we have to do distributive property in two areas. Well, while multiplying by a negative number in the outside, remember the rule. Every time you multiply by a negative number in the outside, everything in the inside switches signs. So if it was positive, it turns into a negative. Okay? If that was negative, now it turns into a positive. And then we go over here the same way. Oh, I'm multiplying by a negative number. Same thing happens. If that was a negative, it turns into a positive. If that was a negative, then it also turns into a positive. Okay? And I like writing my signs there just to remind me. Now I just multiply. Distributive property means multiplication. 5 times 1 is 5. But then that's a negative 5. 5 times 5 is 25. X, but that's a positive, right? We have a positive here. I didn't touch the positive 4x, so I'm going to put positive 4x equals. I did not touch the negative 8x, so I'm just going to drop it, negative 8x. Now we're going to multiply. 5 times 8 is 40, so that's your 40x. And that was positive, so I dropped the positive sign. 5 times 2 is 10, and then we drop the positive. So we just eliminated all the parentheses using the distributive property. Now we have a hot mess that we need to pretty much clear out. So we're done with this first step. Next step is eliminate any fractions or decimals. Well, by the looks of it, there are no fractions and decimals in this multi-step equation. So we're lucky. So we're done with step 2. Now we jump into step 3. Combine like terms on the left side of the equation. So this is what I like doing. I like drawing rectangles. You guys hate it. I don't know why. But for me, it just keeps everything organized for me. I look at the left side of the equation and I ask myself, Is there anything I could combine in this rectangle before I move on? Do we have any like terms? Well, these are not like terms because that one doesn't have a variable and this one does. So I can't do this, but I could do this one, 25x plus 4x. I caught some of you guys doing something illegal in class and I told you not to do it, but yet you still did it. This is, you cannot do this. You cannot do, oh, okay, minus 4x, minus 4x. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. And you cannot also, you can't do this either. Okay, so then let's do minus 25x, minus 20. Horrible. That's not a good, that's a horrible mistake. Okay? You only do that if you're going to come to this side of the equation. When you cross this border or you cross this equal sign, that's when you switch the sign. But when you're on the same side, you don't switch signs. They stay the same. That's why I draw my rectangle. That rectangle kind of like tells me, warning, stop, don't do that mistake. So then, therefore, I could combine positive 25x and 4x because they're like terms. 25 plus 4 is 29x. So then now I have a 29x here. I didn't touch the negative 5, so I'm going to drop it. Well, what sign is between the 5 and the 29? It's a positive. Boom! We cleared this mess already. Now we're done with this step. Combine like terms on the left side. Now let's do the next step. Combine like terms on the right. So I'm going to draw another rectangle, but now it's on the right side of the equation. And I ask myself, could I combine anything on that rectangle? Any like terms? Well, that's a constant. It cannot be combined with anybody. It could only be combined with these guys. These two could combine because they're like terms. Just be careful with your signs. Negative 8x plus 40x. Same sign or different signs. Hopefully you're saying, well, they're different. 40 minus 8x is going to be 32x. And it's going to be a positive 32x because there's more positive x values. You didn't touch this constant, you drop it, and look at this. A beautiful problem that you know how to solve already. After doing these 4 steps, you came into this problem that you know how to solve. Okay, so if I was you, I would pause the video and then play it again and see what the real answer is. I'm going to go over this step really quickly because you should already know how to do this. I look at which one's the highest variable term. So the highest variable term is the one with the largest coefficient. 29 or 32 was this one. I'm going to bring that one over there. Do you notice how I'm doing this? This is going to jump the fence and come over here. That's when you switch sides. You see that? When you're jumping to the other side of the equation. That's when you switch sides. So I know that cancels out. No. There is no such thing as a 0x. Once they cancel, they cancel. Okay, there's no such thing as a 0x. 29, 30, 31, 32. That's a 3x. Drop the plus 10. These canceled out, so I put negative 5. We're almost there. Circle your variable term. There it is. Focus on the side where the bubble is, and yet I still see some of you guys doing this. Plus 5 plus. Why would you do that? The variable term is on this side, so you have to get rid of the one that's not inside the bubble. It's a positive 10. The positive 10 is not inside the bubble. So you do the opposite. Minus 10, minus 10. This cancels out. So you have 3x equals, same sign or different signs? Same, so that's a 15 minus. Okay. A lot of you guys are messing up on that side too. Divide by 3. Oh, who's going to put you to sleep? The bear is. The bear puts me to sleep. The bear should be the last rule that you use. A negative divided by a positive will end up being negative. So I know my answer is negative, and then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that's the answer. X equals negative 5. Is that a lot of work? Yes, it is, but it's easy work. Everything that you've learned for the past 3 weeks, we're putting it in one problem. Distributive property, combining like terms, solving a multi-step equation. You need to get used to this because that's what you're going to see a lot when you go to high school. Let's do 2 more problems. Okay, the next problem we're going to do And I'm doing the problems in the worksheet. Okay, I'm trying to do the most complicated ones so you guys get an idea. Negative 3, 4x plus 10 plus 9 equals negative 4, 6x plus 1 plus 43. Dear Jesus, look at this beast. It's a huge problem. Yeah, parentheses, distributive property. Eventually you're going to have to combine like terms. So we're going to have to do all of this stuff. So simple. Here we go. First step is eliminate any parentheses using the distributive property. So here's my parentheses. So I'm going to highlight everything, even the number in the front, because that's the one we're going to distribute. We have distributive property over here as well. Take your time. Don't try to go fast. There's no point of you going fast if you're going to mess up on your signs. We're multiplying by a negative number, therefore all the signs in the inside change. So if this is positive, all of a sudden it's going to become negative. That one's positive, then it will become negative. Oh, that's it. Well, not really, but those are the signs. This is also multiplied by a negative, so all of these signs change. If that was a positive, now it's going to become a negative. If that was a positive, it's going to become a negative. Now, some of you guys were like, Mr. Hernandez, I still don't understand the rule. Why is that? Technically, I'm skipping steps. Technically, you should be using the bear. Technically. A negative times a positive times a positive is a negative. You see that? We just do the same thing over here. Negative times positive. A negative times a positive is negative. So the way I remembered it, so I don't have to memorize rules, is every time I multiply by a negative number, all the signs switch. So technically I'm skipping a step. And this has been helping a lot of you guys out in class actually. So the mistakes are not distributive property. The mistakes are more towards the end of the problem. Okay, so here we go. After I do figure out my signs, I just multiply. Distributive property is just multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12x. Drop the minus sign. 3 times 10 is 30. Drop the minus sign. I didn't touch the 9, so I'm going to drop the 9. Equals 4 times 6 is 24x. Drop the minus sign. 4 times 1 is 4. Drop this new minus sign. And I didn't touch the 43. Now what I end up getting is literally a hot mess. It's a huge mess right now. So I'm done with the first step. Second step is eliminate any fractions or decimals. Well, I don't have any fractions or decimals, so I could skip that step. Next step is combine like terms on the left side. So I'm going to go to the left side. I like drawing my rectangle. Let's figure out what we could combine here. Is there anything in this rectangle that you could combine? Well, the constants, right? These numbers. Please do not do this. This is wrong. Plus 30, plus 30. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. That is incorrect. That's why I drew a rectangle. The rectangle like stops me, like stop, stop, stop. That's wrong. You cannot do that. You could only combine. Negative 30 plus 9. Well, I know that's different signs, so I'm going to subtract. I know that 30 minus 9 is 21. Do you have more negatives or more positives? Well, I have more negatives, so this should be negative 21. The negative 12x drops. The equal sign drops too. We're done with the left side. Let's go to the right side. Okay? The right side is this guy over here. Boom. Now I do this side. Is there anything I could combine in here? Well, I could combine my constants. These. Same sign or different signs. They're different, so I subtract. So I know that will be, well, I could drop this negative 24x. This will be 39. Now, will you have be positive 39 or negative 39? Hopefully you said positive because you have more positives. Boom. And look at this. It's a beautiful problem you know how to solve already. Okay, so I'm going to go fast. Click, which is bigger, negative 12 or negative 24? Negative 12 is bigger, so I'm going to do plus 24x, inverse operation. I do this to balance the equation. These cancel out. There's no such thing as a 0x. Difference, I like writing my rules. Different sign subtract, so I know it's 12x. I have more positives, so that's positive 12x. Drop the minus 21 equals, and then drop the 39. We're almost there. Circle your variable term. Draw your barrier. You better not say, let's do negative 39. No, that's incorrect. Let's get rid of the one that's not inside the bubble, which is a positive 21. Positive 21. That cancels out. So then I have 12x equals, oh, this is easy. 10, 1, 4, 60. Yes. Divide by 12, divide by 12. X equals, oh, whoops, I was going to say 6. 5. Boom. You're done. A lot of work. It's a lot of work that you're talking about, Hernandez, right here. But it's easy work. It's just review. Should we do another one? One more. One more. One more problem. So you guys can understand this. If you don't get it, rewind the video and listen to it again. Okay, here we go. Next one is 10x plus 3, 2 minus x equals 5x plus 2 minus 4. Huge problem, but it's easy. It's the same steps. Step number 1, use distributive property. Okay, I know how to distribute there and there. Now I look at my signs. I'm multiplying by a positive number. That's actually pretty good because you know that the signs do not change when it's positive. When it's positive, the signs do not change. So if that was positive, it stays positive. That one's negative, it stays negative. Same thing here. We multiply by positive. He was positive, you stay positive. I was positive, you stay positive. The only thing you do is distribute, or you just start multiplying. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times x is just 3x. But that's negative. That's positive. Drop the 10x. Equals 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. Drop the minus 4 because you didn't touch it. We're done with step number 1. Step number 2 is eliminating fractions or decimals. You don't have any. And don't get used to it. You are going to have to do fractions and decimals. That's our next lesson that we're going to cover. Next step is combine like terms on the left side. So let's go to the left. Boom, left, boom. Could I combine anything in there? Yeah, the variable terms. 10x minus 3x. That will give you, let me get the black marker, 7x. Okay, 7x. Drop the 6. Boom. Next step is combine like terms on the right side. So let's go to the right side. Boom. This side. Can I combine anything in here? Hopefully you said these two. 10 minus 4, simple, it's 6. So then we drop the 5x, 6. And we got such a beautiful problem right here, super easy. You're so used to doing these problems, so let's go ahead and attack it. The biggest variable term is 7x, so I'm going to do, let me draw my barrier. Inverse operation is minus 5x, minus 5x. That cancels out. There's no such thing as a 0x. 7 minus 5 is 2x. Drop the 6 equals, drop the 6. There it is. Okay. Then you just go ahead and start solving this. Circle the variable. Draw your barrier. Who do you get rid of? Well, this 6. Inverse operation is minus 6 minus 6. Cancels out. 2x equals 0. And this is where you panic and you say, oh, the answer is no solution. Some of you guys even say that the answer is 2. That's wrong. Technically, this is saying 2 times what number? 0. Duh, what's the only number? 0. But I'm going to show you how I got 0. Divide by 2, keep on going. 0 divided by a number is always going to be 0. And that is it. That's how you solve. I pretty much went over probably the hardest problems in your worksheet. And the hardest problems that you will encounter. Okay, so again, look at your steps. First step is eliminate the parentheses using distributive property. Second step is fractions or decimals, which we did not have any of. Next step is combine like terms on the left. And then combine like terms on the right. Then you get a problem that you know how to solve. Again, on our next video, we're going to be distributing by a fraction. And that's going to be interesting because you have to deal with common denominators, unlike denominators, but you already know how to do that. So until the next time, I'll see you later.